Hi, I'm Gabrielle, and recently I've been posting a lot of videos about self love. The reason I'm really talking so heavily about self love is I came to realize that self love was something that I was missing in my life. And I've also realized through conversations with others that it is something that is very needed in this hour, that a lot of people are hurting and they don't even know why. And if I had not taken the steps that I'd taken to learn about what my underlying issues were, I would never know it. Back in, I believe it was 2019, I started following two prominent people, Bob Proctor and Lisa Nichols. They talk a lot about mindset. And one of the practices was to think about what you're thinking about. And I'm the kind of person who always felt like I had a great sense of confidence and that I just absolutely love myself because you could always find primping in the mirror and this and that and the other, right? But when I started to think about what I was thinking about, I had a change of heart. I distinctly remember one instance where I had made a mistake and I was like, oh, I just get on my own nerves. And it was things like that, negative self-talk about me, nobody else, but about myself. So I didn't need anyone else to kick me because I was doing a great job all by myself. And when I started thinking about what I was thinking about and I realized this, I realized I had a problem. I didn't love myself the way I thought I did. And so that sent me on a journey to find out why. What did I do or what happened that I came to not love myself? And how can I fix it? And I ended up finding a few different techniques of how to clear that energy away to become who I am today. Some of the conversations I had with various people that, if she ever had a conversation with herself and just told herself that she loved herself. She says, oh no, I could never do that. I'm like, what do you mean? And she says, I have a problem with that. And she says, oh, my husband's great. He tells me he loves me every day and he's always just pouring so much love into me, which is wonderful. It's a great thing. And you should love your partner that way. But what if you don't have that? What if, it's just you by yourself? And then on the flip side, should he have to for you to feel loved? Why couldn't it be that you loved yourself so much that it just exudes from you and then people can't help but to give it back to you because that's what you're resonating? That's really how this thing is supposed to be. However, we've not been taught that. We've been taught to get our validation outside of ourselves so that, if you are wearing a dress, you're on your way out, you get validation from someone else. How do I look? Does this look okay? Instead of you just being able to look in the mirror and say, girl, that dress is you. That's validation enough. Or how about on our jobs? You've given that job everything you could give it. On every assignment, you've done your absolute best. But you have to wait for an evaluation from your supervisor who may or may not like you. And maybe that validation is based on that and not necessarily about your work performance. Who knows? But if you've done your very best and you've given it your all, then that's validation enough. It's time for us to no longer look outside of ourselves for validation, but to seek the validation from within. If you have given what you've given from your heart and you've given it all, then that should be enough. So it's coming to this place, to this space in our hearts and in our minds that I believe that we all need to get to. And there's something that Louise Hay talks about. She talks about how confident children are when they come into this world as babies. And she's absolutely right. I, just pay attention to babies that are around me, and they absolutely love themselves. They don't have a problem telling you how they feel in the way that they deem necessary. Some babies, they'll be nice at first, but if you don't take the hint right away, then that's when you get second level. Might be a scream, might be a squawk, or might be a flat out yell and a cry and a tantrum. But they're going to tell you that there's something wrong or communicate it in the way that is most comfortable to them. Uninhibited about anything, not ashamed of anything. They are just fearless, unless, they're sensing fear that's coming from their parents or something like that. But for the most part, babies are amazing. And the way that they maneuver in life is how we're supposed to maneuver. Uninhibited, just being. But that level of confidence comes from loving yourself. And a lot of times what I'm finding in these conversations is that we've had trauma somewhere in our lives that's been buried, that we need to clear out that stagnant energy, come into oneness with ourselves, to unity and complete love, and it changes the dynamic. Then you have the confidence to attack those goals that seem impossible. Then you have the tenacity and the drive to go after it like a shark after its prey, because you have no more inhibitions. There's no fear. There's only love. Love for yourself, and then love for others, because it exudes forth from you. So that is my why. That is why self-love. I know from doing the work on myself how it has changed my life. And I believe that showing people the steps and taking them through it will transform their lives as well. No more mediocrity, but rising to the pinnacle of our potential, each one of us. So that's the reason why self-love. If you choose to allow us to take you through this journey, click the link below. We'd love to have you in class. And this is Gabrielle, loving myself and loving you to the pinnacle of our existence.